Hi, guys. Good morning. Welcome to another live session on today's weekly roundup of immigration updates with me, Sahil Sal. I'm your host for the day. Guys, today's session is going to be extremely good and informative because we are discussing the important updates with regards to Canadian immigration today. Today's update is all about Canadian immigration, the latest happenings in Express Entry. Well, we all know Express Entry has been talk of the town this particular week, especially. This particular week had a lot of updates with regard to changes in the proof of funds as well. So today we will be talking about Express Entry, proof of updates, changes in the proof of funds. Then there was an important announcement with regards to spousal sponsorships as well in Quebec. So major update with regards to that as well. We will take a look at the provincial nominee program updates. That's one flavor, but most important, I believe, is the changing in processing times, startup visas, business immigration. There are a couple of changes expected, and like I said, the main flavor of today's morning and evening for you guys will be important on Express Entry. Um, so, guys, overall, this particular week saw two back-to-back updates in Express Entry precisely, and within Express Entry, they started off with a PNP draw on July the 7th. This particular PNP draw happened. If I can just quickly bring it up on the screen. Um, so yes, this is the PNP program draw that happened on July the 7th of 2025, which is just about last week. And about 750 people were invited at a CRS cutoff of 356, which is important to note. Again, July the 8th saw another bi-weekly Canadian Experience class draw of 3,000 invitations being rolled out at 518. Now, what's important to note is that we have had Canadian Experience class draws 1, 2, and 3 back to back, with 3,000 being consistently invited in these bi-weekly draws, and most importantly, in the month of July itself, we have seen about 3,500 so far, and last 1 month, to be precise, we have seen almost 10,000 people being invited. So IRCC finally has decided to invite people back to back bi-weekly, which means consistency is now being prepared. As we had discussed previously, that the targets for 2025 are pretty much met, because 2025, the draws that you're seeing right now are pretty much the landings that are supposed to happen in the year of 2026. Now, all these people will be supposedly landing hopefully in the month of in the year of 2026, which means they are biting into the quotas of next year, which is close to 385,000 people odd, 395, 385,000 odd number. And that particular number will also include all the federal high skilled people, will include PNPs, will include permanent residents from all other categories. So that pretty much is a good score to get into. If IRCC continues to draw, let's just have a look at the size of the pool at the moment. Now, what's surprising here is the fact that despite back-to-back draws, the number is sitting at 256,000. If you remember the previous week, the week before, the previous draw, the draw before that, this was consistently around about this number only, and this particular number here between 501 and 600 is the number which is not going down. I mean, like, we are consistently seeing this number being here. So to answer the simple question of what people generally ask, that when are we expecting the draw to go down to, say, for example, 505, if this number continues to be there, 22,000, then we are not expecting the number to go down to 505, even if IRCC continues to invite 3,000 people. Also, what's more interesting to note is that we are all waiting for a trade draw, for a general category draw. I believe a general category draw at this moment is pretty far fetched. It doesn't make sense for IRCC to take out a draw at 550 or something, some odd number, because in order to invite their labor market preferences, they would rather hold a healthcare draw, a support draw, or an education draw. So this time, I believe the chances of going in for a general draw are pretty low. I mean, one at max, what we could expect to see. But overall, the medical draws are unexpectedly higher because they've included the support NOC codes in the health category, which is pretty odd. They should not have done that, but that is a reason why they're pushing up the scores on healthcare category draw. I believe next year we should see an important change in the healthcare NOC codes. They might create a separate stream if they want to. And yes, the education, there might be a couple of people being removed or NOCs being removed from that, and then couple of more people being added in that. So next year I believe 2026 is going to see some radical changes in the express entry categories. This is my belief, because the categories that they've created this year are not working out. um, the current, as we can see, is sitting at 22,591. This number has to go down in order to have a lower CC draw. But every year, every bi-weekly we see a draw, this number doesn't go down. At least for the last 2 or 3 rounds, we are seeing that this number is being consistently put up where it is. But anyways, the important part here to note is that despite having a CC draw on July 8th, the number is still sitting. We will keep you posted on when this number gets updated. But another important update with regards to Canadian, the express entry or the proof of funds of what are required in express entry. This is the table that you can see on the screen at the moment. Um, the number has gone up, so please ensure that this particular following week, if you don't do it, then your profile will be removed. Or say, for example, a lot of people create their profiles with some random proof of fund numbers. What really means is that your profile will not be removed from Canadian experience class, but it will be removed from the federal skilled worker category. So whenever you create an express entry profile, it always shows you four different categories. It shows you FSW, it shows you CEC, FST. It will be removed from the FHS. So if you are a doctor outside Canada waiting for a draw, or if you are an education or a teacher outside Canada waiting for a draw, if you don't update your numbers properly, your file will be removed. So for a family of 4, it has gone to 28,000, and then for a family of 7, it has gone up to 40,000, and then additional $4,112 per family. This is the number that they are looking at. It's very important for you to note. Overall, IRCC did make a couple of important changes in the startup visa program as well. So this is a friend of ours. He's a very, very learned immigration consultant, Mandeep Lidar. He shared an ATIP note. Let me just bring that ATIP note on the screen. Yes. Okay. Yes, this one. Okay, so the admissions target at the moment with regards to startup visas is dwindling. The target so far for the current year is sitting at 5,000 people. The skilled worker, the federal self, employed people within this is sitting at 1,600, and the year's worth of inventory setting is at about 6 years worth of inventory. So what IRCC says is that they already have 6 years worth of inventory in the startup visa. So don't expect a lot of action in SUV category. If you are waiting for an SUV category, the number is now being reduced to 5,000 people. As you can see on the screen, the number is being reduced to almost 2,000 people, which is down from 5,000. They are saying that they have 6 years worth of inventory, which means the processing time right now will go even higher. If you have seen the processing time for startup visas, um, yes, if you see self-employed business person, this is the self-employed, but if you go at the bottom, you'll see startup visa. It is currently sitting at 51 months. And what we are seeing today, as per the ATIP note that's been shared by Mandeep, the processing time could go even further. You could be seeing a number up to 72 months or more. Also, startup visas, because the program has been grossly misused by a lot of people. So what's going to happen is 5 years down the line, whenever they pick up your file for processing, they would obviously want to see your performance report. So say for example, you had a startup today, and you had obviously these 5-6 years to bring that company up. 5 years down the line, IRCC would want to see your performance reports. and then make a decision accordingly. So all those people who are waiting in startup visas, for you guys, how this program is going to shape up in the future, this is going to be very, very unexpected and surprising, because nobody really knows what's going to happen with the startup visas. All we know that IRCC already has a big chunk of inventory with them, and then they're any further applicants on the startup visa, you guys are highly, highly advised to not jump into it anymore if that's not the last resort that you're looking for. Another update coming in with respect to Quebec. Quebec family sponsorship cap has already reached for 2025 leading up to 2026. So they are not accepting any new applications between June 26 to 2024 till June 25th of 2025, which means it's so far likely paused. Let me just take you to their exact government page where they have updated this as well. If you can see, um, this is for family reunification. They say from June 26, 24 till 2026. So if the sponsors are living in Quebec, this is directly applicable on you. Will accept a maximum of 13,000 applications, and applications are received on first come first serve. This is already the maximum amount that can be received is therefore reached before 2026. Will stop receiving application in this category until the end of the period is released. There are certain exemptions as well if their dependent is under 18, minor children wishes to adopt, and the orphan minor children, who is their brother, sister, nephew, niece, grandson, and granddaughter. Do take a very close look at this particular limitation that has been announced by Quebec, because Quebec, like I said, has its own mini express entry sort mini immigration system. Because if you try to do Quebec, you will have to go through their program for CSQs and everything very specifically. We do have certain updates with regards to the PNP updates as well. British Columbia held an entrepreneur immigration invitation round. 12 invitations were were given out in the base stream with a minimum score of 121. That's pretty high, guys. Fewer than 5 invitations were sent out to regional stream, which is surprising, because if they want businesses to boom up outside the main center of Vancouver, Greater Vancouver area, then this number should have been higher. But overall, we are seeing 115 score point cutoff. Let me just show it on the screen here. So the entrepreneur stream saw an invitation on July the 8th. This was the base stream, 121, 12 invitations. And then also there was another draw by Manitoba on July the 10th of 2025. This was the graduate internship pathway. 40 LAs were issued, skilled worker stream. About 27 letters of advice were issued, with people ranking as low as 673. I know a lot of people would be intrigued by this particular score. The employer services 3, francophone community only 2, regional communities 4, and ethno-cultural communities is 18. This is a part of the bifurcation. And then 67 letters were issued in draw. 29 were issued to candidates who declared valid express entry profile number. This is the Manitoba stream, the bifurcation of Manitoba draw. And on the other hand, it is important for you to note the processing times as well. So right now, processing times, as you can see on the screen, they're all over the place. For work permits outside Canada, pleasantly, the number has gone down to 7 weeks. For work permits inside Canada, pleasantly, the processing has now gone down to 182 days. Study permits outside Canada, 3 weeks. Study permits inside Canada, 12 weeks. And visitor visa processing from outside, we've randomly taken Finland, is about 53 days. So I believe the processing times are presently changing. Inside Canada, you're setting a drop of approximately 1 month in processing of work permit, so we should be seeing quicker turnarounds or decisions on work permit application. And so is study permit. Earlier it was 16 weeks, it is now down to 12 weeks. Visitor visa from India right now is sitting at close to 1 month. This is what my last application took. Study permit outside Canada, give or take 3 to 4 weeks. This is pretty normal. And work permits also about 2 months. This is pretty average from India, because the maximum number of applications are coming from India. So yes, overall, this is the whole week roundup. Just within 15 minutes, we have hit the mark, and I believe the week was pretty good, consistent. No big surprises, but bigger updates for sure. No surprises, but big updates important because Canadian experience, class draws were there. So now we will take a quick roundup of the questions and answers. We'll see what kind of question answer people are asking questions, and then we will try to see how many we can answer today. Anuj Mehta, when is the next CC draw? My friend, by the look of it, by the trend that IRCC is following, I believe next bi-weekly draw should happen following week. That's the week of my birthday as well. So anything beyond 22nd of July or onwards, like 21st of July and onwards, I think that should be a good about week to see another CC draw. Hopefully, keeping fingers crossed, IRCC does hold another CC draw that week. Although we are waiting for a trade draw and a healthcare draw. Hopefully that week, also carries those draws along with the PNP draws for sure. Hmm. As ONP published 2024 nomination allocation results, are there any chances of draws coming out by end of this month? George, some insider news here through a support worker who's working in the Ontario department had an internal meeting. So that's where we got to know that Ontario is gearing up for a major round of invitations by within the next 1 month, which could spill over into somewhere in August as well. So expect a big round of wave of invitations from Ontario with regards to end of July, anywhere between end of July or about August. So yes, we are expecting. So this is not confirmed news, but they were given a presentation by OINP with regards to settlement services and all, and that's how they got to know that we are preparing for another round of invitations, hopefully within the next 1 to 2 months. So we are keeping our fingers crossed for bigger rounds coming in from Ontario soon. Sir, 497 STEM, 8866 in French. Should I only focus on French, or is STEM will be any chance? Avneet, good. STEM, my friend, unfortunately is not in the major focus for this particular year. Hopefully, STEM returns to its shine in the year 2026. If not 2026, then 2027. If I were you, I would highly focus my energy on French at the moment because STEM is something that you've already done by virtue of your work experience. So that does not require any further focus. You will continue to do your job. You will continue to um, perform at your work performance and make sure that you're not laid off or you don't change your job. So as long as you just do your regular routine, that means you will continue to be in STEM. So no further updates on that. But what's your important focus is, meanwhile you have to focus on French so that you can gain additional points and utilize it to your benefit. So yes, in a simple answer, French should definitely be the focus for people who are currently in STEM. Hopefully STEM returns to its shine in 2026 or 2027. Uh, gi- um, Kaushal, given all the French based category draws for this year, do you think quota would be exhausted in the next French for this year? My exam is scheduled in August. Hopefully, I get in. I believe yes. The French quota, I don't think you will see or you should see more than 3 to 4,000 or maybe at max 5,000 worth of a draw in the coming time. Uh, f- but you still have time to prepare for French for next year because next year and hopefully the year following that, we are expecting the French quota to go up to 12% at some time. 8.5 is definitely said, confirmed by the immigration minister, but we're expecting that to go up to 12%. So that means we will have more seats. Fortunately, the French category files in Express Entry are being processed with a lot of quicker speeds. I believe we should see the French draws in either end of this year or early next year. That should focus on early landings next year because French draws are are, they get done with the French landings in early part of the year. So this is what is a trend that we are seeing every year right now. First half of the year, they quickly get done with their categories of French, so that they know what their quota is for the year, and they get done with it. And by the remainder of the year, of a particular year, they start inviting CC people, so that those landings can happen next year. So it's like a spillover year on year. That is the update that we are seeing. Yes. And then, any updates on PNP draws by Alberta? I believe Alberta is regularly, conducting its PNP draws. I know Alberta has not been conducting a major wave of draws, but overall, Alberta has been hit badly by the reduced PNP targets, just like any other province. Unfortunately, they've not been able to secure any additional spots like New Brunswick so far, at least. Hopefully, they do have a conversation ongoing. We will be seeing certain updates with regards to um, the annual meeting that the PNPs have with the immigration minister. So that should be happening somewhere in September, between September, October, November. So that might just bring us up to date with the latest PNP quotas and allocations. So that is something that is, that what we are waiting for. uh okay, good question. What is the update on LMIA? And the person has said that, which was submitted on May 2024. My friend, LMIA processing times are all over the place. If you had submitted the LMIA in a PR stream, that is going to have a very, very long processing time. Somewhere around low wage LMIs are sitting at about 7 to 8 months worth of processing time. So if your application was submitted in May, this is about time when you should see your processing come up. We have already seen files from June. So I had a file on 10th June last year, which got its decision um, early this month. So I think it is about time you should see your file being picked up for processing. If not, let your employer know. They can reach out to ESDC, put it under consideration for a faster processing now that the time has come for processing. Also, will ONP conduct trade draws if federal contract conducts a trade draw? I think yes. Once the so Ontario always follows the pattern. First, the federal draw happens, and then Ontario conducts a draw, because they don't want to bring in people which will then be picked up by the express entry by itself. So for them, it's very simple. Let IRCC express entry hold one draw, and then the balance of that minus certain points, they will hold their draw. That is something that they've been doing. But this time, the difference between Ontario trade and the federal trade is that federal trade will have cooks. Hopefully Ontario does not have cooks, because otherwise then they will spoil the whole meaning of having trade draws. So Ontario ideally should not have cooks in their NOC codes, or because they're changing their definition of their PNP very actively right now. Uh, okay, good question. For those work experiences, I am claiming. I believe it's a follow up question. Okay. Do we need to do a PCC for spouse or minor kids? One of my minor kid was born back home. For the second one was born in Canada. Which will the born inside Canada have be non-accompanying or PR purposes? This is a long question. Let me just talk about PCC, at least in this. PCC is needed for spouse for sure, my friend, and for minor kids, it's not required. For people above the age of 18, you do require a PCC. For people below or children below the age of 18, you do not require PCC. Do take care of the dates. For any other country, we always recommend that always get a PCC if you've stayed in that country for more than 6 months. For your home country, if your PCC was issued last time, when you left the country, it should be fine. If you did not enter the country, leave Canada, go there, then your PCC old was would be fine. But if you have entered the country for even a single day, then you would have to reinstate or get a fresh PCC out of that. I hope that answers. What are the other important questions? Let's see if you have anything else. Pooja, yes, ONP Masters stream draw should be coming in the next 1 to 2 months. Please be prepared for it. We are expecting to see an Ontario Master Graduate stream draw anytime soon now. Perfect, guys. It was, I believe that's pretty much on a roundup of today's live session. I will uh, have to take your leave today. It's an early commitment with somebody else. For now, I believe it was a good session. Gave you, all the information that we have today. Also, if you haven't, been able to ask your questions, please feel free to schedule an appointment with us. We would be more than happy to speak with you personally and then help you way through it. And also, if you haven't subscribed to our channel or our social media handles yet, I do highly recommend subscribing because we do give out regular updates every now and then. Guys, lovely chatting with you, and I really hope to see you soon in Canada. All the best.